Welcome back. Our next presenter is Dr. Turi. Louis has been a long-time supporter of the Congress. I think he first presented for us about year 2, or maybe it was 3, but we go way back. Louis is one of the best people known on, well, he's a lot of areas that he can claim to fame. Very well known for his work with Nostradamus. Particularly these days, extremely well known as being one of the best single sources for current prophecy. His newsletter, The Cosmic Code, is available to everybody free on the internet. Louis has just written a major book, and I haven't read it yet, but it's Beyond the Secret. Louis has had a fascinating life. He has a deep, deep UFO connection, very, very, very spiritual connection, very, very talented. His areas go into being able to read people and even do a bit of healing work. Louis is a totally amazing man, and he has told me that his entire life, nothing held back is in this book, and it's an extraordinary life. And after you guys get to hear Louis today, I think you're going to want to go meet him at the author table and get him to sign this book for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Turi.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize that I would not be here today if it was not for the Brown family. Incredible effort to put the best of the speakers in the ufology phenomenon. So, please, for the Brown family, thank you very much. What I'm going to do today, that's my goal, is to slow down your physical vibration. Being a clinical hypnotherapist, I'm not going to use the terms because I want you to understand me. And I want to accelerate your etheric body. This will allow you, let's say you're going to be tricked, to enter the archetypal realm of consciousness and let me insert suggestions that will benefit you. Will it be because maybe you suffer some ailment, physical, spiritual, depression, or maybe because you have a wish for wealth, a wish for a better career, making more money, better self-esteem, God knows what. I don't care. I don't want to know. But I'm going to trick every one of you here just to get the results. And when you're ready, a nice music will come on, and I would ask you to just sit back, relax, and let me do my work for your benefit. And I would also ask you to remember and never ever forget that the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thoughts. Did you hear me? I'm going to say it again. And I want you to repeat mentally in your mind, my future is nothing else than the reincarnation of my thoughts. Because thoughts are things. Thought travel in time and space. And as you know, there is no time in space. Thoughts are able to go through matter, through the thickest wall, anywhere, go through that wall like a lesbian, and reach the power you were born with. You were made in the image of God. You like it or not. You know it or not. And I didn't write it. It's written in full letter in the Bible. You have been made at the image of God. This means you are God. You have been granted the essence of creation within the very core of your spirits. And it is your right to ask, for if you ask, you shall receive. Now, I always teach my students, knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. It's very, very important to always challenge yourself and to never, ever assume anything about anyone unless you walk the moccasins of the old Indian. You will not know the road. Now, when I was a kid, I was classified as what you call nowadays ADD. I was terrible. Nobody in my family wanted to take care of me because I was just running the walls. And the only way to fix us during those days was, because we didn't have, luckily for me again, those dangerous chemical, Prozac, or Ritalin, or God knows what. We didn't have that. We only had electrical shock. So following the doctor advice, because Louis was amusing the class, he would never speak a foreign language, he would never do anything good of his life, whatever, we're going to shock his head. But my mom, luckily for me, I keep my sanity because my mom made the right decision to let me be a kid. So if you want to play on your computer, listen to the radio, don't want to be bothered, sorry, you got a child. You're going to let him burn his fuel. Do not turn your child into a zombie. Let the power that he was blessed by the universal code, the universal structure, the order of God written in light himself through his creation, let it work its magic, because this is what happened to me. I came in this country in 1984. I had nothing, no green card, no social security, no friends. As a matter of fact, I was in the street. I was homeless. Look at me today. A little French man made the American dream. I drive the latest Corvette. I got a beautiful speedboat. I own my house, about to get another one. I write books. I'm all over. So if I can do it, and I am French, wait a minute here. The American dream belongs to you before it belongs to me. So I am a good example. You might as well, as I said earlier, walk my moccasin and understand me a little bit. And that's why I wrote my book, Beyond the Secret. Because I'm sure many, many of you have heard of this movie, Beyond the Secret. And God knows what, I endorse and support the law of attraction. But what about the rest of the secret? I'll tell you what, if you want to become somebody, you could sit your butt, sorry, I'm direct, on that sofa of yours and watch that movie for 1 hour. And at the end of the movie, you're on the world, literally, because that's the goal. But you are going to be so deceived. You got to work all week or all month to get your paycheck. You got to back up your faith, your thought, your drive, your spirit by action. Because for every action, there is an equal reaction. Common sense apply. You see my hand? You see that side. But because you do not see that side, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You have a physical world, and all the regulations, including the law of attraction, the RS, the DMV, the cops, all the physical laws have been taught. You know every one of them since you were born, and you respect them. But the other side of my hand is the laws written by God himself through the light. And that's where you need to raise your cosmic consciousness and understand that there is a order, there is a plan, there is a divine plan. But if you're not curious, oh, I'm going to go to hell because Dr.Turi talks astrology, you're not doing yourself a favor. If you mess up the laws and decide to go shopping and ignore every red light and every stop sign in the street or the laws of man, written by men, may I mention the Bible or the Quran? Because God never came down and wrote no books. You are going to pay the penalty. The laws of light or the laws of man have to be understood, acknowledged, respected, and taught. And this is why this world is so chaotic. Because all the laws of the divine have been cast aside to facilitate a very, very abusive, controlling system that started with the politically oriented church of the 15th centuries. Ask a question. Be curious. Education is the key. Billions of dollars are spent every day to build Big, big building for sports. That's okay, don't get me wrong. Millions and billions of dollars are spent to endorse, promote Allah, Buddha, Jesus, the Mormon, Hare Krishna, Witness of Jehovah, Fatima, Guru and Peri, God knows what. This money should go to education for the children of tomorrow, because the children of tomorrow have to fix the mess science, greed, hypocrisy did to them. It's very, very important. And I hope before my number is up, by the way, tomorrow,